For decades, sports have celebrated strength, dominance, and toughness. But there was one truth many athletes were never allowed to show. Not because they weren't great, but because the world wasn't ready. This is the story of black athletes who broke two barriers at once, race and sexuality, in some of the most unforgiving arenas on Earth. In 2013, the NBA had already seen black superstars, champions, and icons. But it had never seen an openly gay active player. Until Jason Collins, a 7-foot center, a veteran, a role player who had spent over a decade in the league. And then, with one sentence in Sports Illustrated, history changed. Jason Collins became the first openly gay active player in NBA history, and the first in any major North American men's team sport.
An act of personal courage, making history and creating a giant reaction in the ironclad world of professional sports. One of their own, Jason Collins, a powerhouse player in the NBA, a veteran of the court, today told the world he is gay.
Collins made history in Sports Illustrated with these 12 words. I'm a 34-year-old NBA center, I'm black, and I'm gay.
His announcement wasn't a publicity stunt. It was survival. He played one final stretch with the Brooklyn Nets, not as a star, but as a symbol. Now we switch to the gridiron. The NFL is built on collision, on violence, on a culture where masculinity is policed as hard as the rule book. In 2014, Michael Sam stood at the edge of history, a standout defensive end, SEC Defensive Player of the Year, and openly gay before the draft. Michael Sam became the first openly gay black player drafted into the NFL. But here's the truth. History often softens. He never played a regular season game, cut from rosters, relegated to practice squads. His talent questioned louder than ever. In the NFL, being first doesn't always mean being allowed to stay. Boxing may be the loneliest sport of all. No teammates, no substitutions, just you, and the truth you carry into the ring. To this day, no black male boxer has competed at the highest professional level while openly gay during his prime. Not because they didn't exist, but because boxing has long treated queerness as a liability, something that could cost you fights, sponsors, or safety. Several fighters have come out after their careers, others never did. In boxing, survival often meant silence. If any sport still lives in the shadow of hypermasculinity, it's mixed martial arts. The UFC went decades without a single openly gay male fighter on its roster. When fighters finally came out, most did so after their UFC runs, or only once their careers slowed. As of today, there has still been no black UFC fighter competing at the elite level who was openly gay during their prime, not because they weren't capable, but because the risk was too high. Being first doesn't always look like a parade. Sometimes it looks like isolation, short careers, or doors that never open again. But every silence broken shifts the ground, because the next generation is watching. And one day, being black, gay, and elite won't be a headline. It'll just be an athlete doing their job.
For the weekend, it was announced that Dwayne Wade's daughter, Zaya Wade, was officially granted a name and gender change.